Hello, darlings. Today's masterclass is about pricing and specifically pricing for artists and creators. This is such a huge topic and it's such an important one in the same time. And I'm going to give you quite a few reasons why I decided to do this and why this is such a big deal. Which should I start with? One, artists, this kind of goes into business when you start talking about pricing and money. And from what I've noticed is that artists slash creatives have this mm, tendency to go as far away from the conversation of money as possible and not talk about it, not think about it. I'm an artist and not a business person. I don't do this shit. I used to say that as well. And it's not about being a business person, but pricing is something personal to you. And we're gonna get to that and gonna get to how important it is to talk about money and to not let it be this attachment of even money being something not tangible, like not in your grasp. So this is quite a difficult topic for artists and creatives, but also because it's so subjective. Like the thing that they sell, where may it be a service or a product, is something very subjective and it's very diverse in the industry, let's call it, in the art industry. There can be so many variations on this, and how do you get to price it in a certain way, in a correct way? Now, this another item comes into play here where you want to be fair. You want to be fair for the client, but also for yourself. Because if you charge too much, you're afraid that the client is going to say no, and you don't want to actually rip off the client, you don't want to be too greedy. And in the same time, you don't want to ask for too little because then you feel like a sucker, that you are not paid enough. And so many times, please tell me the artists who actually specifically for creative services, when you ask for a price and it seems pretty fair, but then along the way in the process, it seems like it's more of a headache than you anticipated, and all of a sudden, the money is not worth it. It does not seem worth it for the effort that you put into the project, and all of a sudden you feel like you're being scammed, like they are ripping you off and they're working you too much. But then you're also kind of like embarrassed to say that you're going to ask for more because you previously stated, this is what I asked for, we agreed on this, and now I'm asking for more. Like, and there's so much fucking conflict going around pricing, and I know because I've been in all of those kind of situations. Okay, what I wanted to say about why this is such an important topic. Basically, it's something that it's very misunderstood. And pricing is not just a number that you throw out there. It's something very personal and unique. And it goes into the whole package, which is the experience that the client has from purchasing something from you, whether that's a product or a service. But it goes together. Whenever there's a discrepancy between the price and what you offer, it's gonna be sensed by the client, even if they are not aware of it. They they sense the unmatch, mismatch, or whatever you call it, and they will not actually want to buy from you. Anyway, don't want to get very deep into this in the intro. What I want to tell you is that pricing is energy. And I'm not going to tell you a formula to get your pricing right, because there is no right or wrong. There is just what you choose. But I am going to teach you the importance of pricing, so you shift your perspective on the impact it actually has, but not to put more pressure on you or to stress you out, but rather the opposite, and guide you in just playing around with it. And the decisions of pricing will actually come very easily and not in the same time, because it's going to be uncomfortable for you to make a responsible decision and not having to base that decision on an outside formula or on an outside advice or whatever. I will explain that again more in detail in the class, in the lessons. But what we're going to be covering throughout this masterclass is what pricing actually is and how it impacts you, what not to do with pricing. And that lesson in particular, you will probably find so many things that you already do from the things of what not to do. And that's actually messing up your sales. And not only that, but even your artistry, your performance, your skill. It's fucking crazy how powerful everything is, including pricing. What else are we going to cover? Like how to actually get to price for the specific thing that you have. We're also going to be talking about product pricing versus service pricing. Let me see, do I have anything else? Oh, and one of the most important things, we're going to be talking about raising your prices, which is something that you constantly do, and why to do it and how to do it. Talking about value, but most importantly, the most important discussion in pricing is the client service provider, which is dynamic. And in that, pricing is like the stepping stone in deciding that, actually not deciding, in establishing that from the beginning, which is huge in taking on a project. So all of this in this masterclass. If you've had any kind of challenges with pricing, if you still do, if you want to raise your prices but you're afraid, anything money related into your creative business, this is a masterclass for you, and it's going to open up so many possibilities. And pricing is actually going to become fun. Can you fucking imagine that? So watch the rest of the masterclass.